Welcome to this learning module designed to help you, as senior professionals, prepare for certification for independent directors on company boards. This session will focus on company. After all, you intend to be the independent director of a company. It is critical for us to understand what is a company, what are the various categories of companies, how to set up a company, what are the rules that govern a company, who are the promoters, and what are their roles, as per the Companies Act of 2013.
We will focus on the first two topics in this session.
Taking a quick detour into the history.
The Indian Companies Act, 1956, was formulated and came into force on April 1, 1956, following the recommendations of the Barber Committee and based on the provisions of the English Companies Act, 1948. It was later replaced by the Companies Act, 2013, in 2013, to modernize corporate laws and improve governance. Let us get back to our original question. What is a company? According to Companies Act 2013, a company is an association of people who come together to form a company as a separate legal entity to carry out any lawful purpose. After all procedural formalities are completed, a certificate of registration is issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs to incorporate the company. A company is a legal entity and like a human and has to comply to rules and pay taxes distinct from the shareholders.
Let us now see what are the various types of company that can be formed. A company may be of just one person, called one-person private company or OPC, or a company could be a private company with two or more persons to a maximum of 200 members, or 7 or more persons, where the company can be formed as a public company.
Let us double-click on these category of companies. One-person company. It's run by a single director who is also the sole member. A nominee must be appointed to step in if the director cannot continue. OPCs are easier to set up, and only Indian citizens who are residents can form them. Private company, with min 2 and max 15 directors. These restrict the transfer of shares, which require consent from other shareholders. A private company has to have a minimum of 2 and maximum of 200 members. Joint shareholders count as one member, and employees, present and past, who are members aren't included in this limit. Finally, public company. They have min 3 directors and to have more than 15 requires special resolution. Here, shares can be freely transferred, and subsidiaries of public companies are automatically treated as public, even if their articles say otherwise. The minimum paid-up capital requirement has been removed by Companies Amendment Act 2015. So, in summary, OPCs are best for solo entrepreneurs, private companies are for small to medium groups with restrictions, and public companies are structured for larger ownership and public investment.
Companies can also be classified by the liability of their members. A company limited by shares makes members liable only for the unpaid amount on their shares. These are the most common type, often ending in names like limited, public limited company, or incorporated. A company limited by guarantee has members known as guarantors, who promise to contribute a fixed amount if the company is wound up. These are usually non-profits or charitable companies, where profits are reinvested into the organization. An unlimited company places no limit on members' liability. They are personally responsible for all debts and obligations.
Companies can also be classified by ownership and control. A holding company controls another company, the subsidiary, through majority voting power. It sets policies, manages assets, and influences key decisions but does not handle day-to-day operations. A subsidiary is a company controlled by a holding company, either partially or fully. Control is exercised through more than 50% voting power or board composition. If the holding company owns 100% voting power, then it is a wholly owned subsidiary.
What if the holding is less than 50%? It could be an associate company. Associate company is where another company has a significant influence due to 20% voting rights or an agreement like a joint venture. Companies can be listed or unlisted, depending on access to capital. Every listed company is a public company, but not all public companies are listed. Unlisted companies may be either private or public. Listed company are registered on recognized stock exchanges in or outside India. Their shares are freely traded and they must follow SEBI regulations. Unlisted company are not listed on any exchange, and its shares are not freely tradable. Such companies raise funds privately, from family, institutions, or private placements.
This brings us to the end of the Session 1 of Module 1 Introduction to Company. If you liked the session, please put a comment. See you in the next session of Learning with Fun.